says that a man lost control and his life overnight.
Neighbors around Lake Ingram are pushing to drain the lake after the July 4th floods. We'll tell you why and how a special meeting today could hurry up that process.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Hey there, good morning, San Antonio. It is 6 a.m. on this Monday, August the 25th. Do you remember when you were little and you would write down when you were in school what the day was? And I always forgot what day it was.
Hey, I always forgot, just speaking out loud, I always say it's the wrong day. But either way, again, thanks so much, everybody, waking up with us, all of our kiddos who are back to school right now on this Monday. Devin's holding down the traffic for you to see how our commutes are looking. But right now, we got to get to the bus stop to see how what we're wearing today.
Yeah, it's still going to be hot and humid. Would you guys like a cold front? I mean, I think we all would.
I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
No pun intended.
I'm just going to pull the rug right out from underneath you. Yeah, it would be nice. It looked like we may get, at one point, looked like we may get a little bit of this cooler air. It's not looking that way. This front, which is producing some beautiful weather across much of the country, you got 50s and 60s this morning. That sounds fantastic. It's just not going to make it here. And look, we're still in August. It usually takes until September and October for us to start getting fronts all the way this far south. But right now, temperatures are at 79 here in San Antonio, and it is going to be another scorcher of a day. We're expecting to get up into the upper 90s. That's where we were yesterday. 96 at 2 o'clock, 99 the high temperature, 97 at 6 p.m. A mostly sunny day. Now tomorrow, that front does get close enough to give us a rain chance. Again, does not cool us down, but we'll see rain chances at 30% both Tuesday and Wednesday because of that. And then the other big story, I suppose, is going to be going into Labor Day weekend. We get some rain chances too, 30% chance Sunday and probably on Labor Day itself. We'll discuss more about that coming up in just a couple minutes. But now we toss it over to Devin. What you got out there in the traffic world?
Well, so far we're crash free, but that doesn't mean we're totally out of the headwinds yet. Taking a look at San Antonio, you can see we are fully in the green, except over here on the northwest side. We've been dealing with a little bit of overnight construction that hopefully should be coming to a halt now that we're hitting the 6 a.m. hour over here. So this is going to be eastbound if you're heading on 1604. Take a look over there. You can see some of the backup with Houseman. There's Bandera looking a little bit better. You can still see some of what that looks like over there on Kyle Seal Parkway. Taking a look outside in TransGuide, though, conditions seem pretty all right so far for this Monday here. 281 at Wilderness Oak over there. 281 at Bulverde Road. Looking pretty solid as well this morning. Again, we are crash free right now, so make sure you're keeping your eyes out for that. Let's hopefully stay that way here as long as we can on this Monday morning as we get started with the rest of our week. Now, I can do the best I can from traffic over here in the studio, but it always helps when we've got our main man, Alex Gomez, out on the roads for us in Drive Cam this morning. Good morning, Alex.
Devin, good morning and happy Monday. I made it to the northeast side right here. This is going to be 35 northbound near Topperwine, and luckily there's no construction taking place on I-35. Both sides of the highway are going to have high speeds this morning. The place where I did see a lot of construction earlier was on the northwest side, 1604 between Houseman and I-10. Just be prepared for some delays on that side because of construction, Devin.
Hey, Alex, we'll celebrate the wins when we can. Thanks so much for being out there for us this morning. We appreciate it. I'll send it back to y'all.
New this morning, San Antonio police are investigating a deadly motorcycle crash that happened just about 4 hours ago. It was on the northwest side just after 2 a.m. along I-10 Access Road in the area of Houseman Road in Dezavala. SAPD says a man in his 20s was driving too fast when he lost control, hit the curb, and flew off his bike into the Dezavala off-ramp. Officers tried CPR, but EMS pronounced him dead at the scene.
Well, happening today, a group of neighbors from Ingram are heading over to a Kerr County Commissioners meeting to advocate for draining their lake after the deadly July 4th floods. Earlier this month, I was able to tell you about a coalition of neighbors who live off of Lake Ingram and say they're still concerned about the smells coming off the water, along with anything else that might be down there. They say divers going down there have seen cars, RVs, propane tanks, debris, and potentially missing bodies at the bottom of the lake. The group has grown from tens to hundreds as many of those neighbors signed a petition asking the county to look into the option of draining the lake. It's something county commissioners have previously signaled an interest for, but have noted it would be a costly and time-consuming. But these neighbors say it's still worth it for their own health and the economic future of their town.
The people of Kerr County and the state can get that lake cleaned up and the river cleaned up. And it's not just about our lake, it's about the Guadalupe River, so that people can enjoy that wonderful body of water that we've had for so long.
I'll be at that meeting when it starts at 9 a.m. We'll have more coming up for you here on GMSA at 9, and it will be streaming online at KSAT.com. Jeff?
Thank you, Devin. And nearly 2 months after that devastating Hill Country floods, Kirk County officials have some good news regarding their efforts to clean up. Kirk County posted on Facebook that a combined 411,000 cubic yards of storm debris have been removed. That's enough to fill 32 football fields. And despite that progress, though, the county says that there is still work to be done. Meanwhile, KSAT 12 got the chance to speak with Governor Greg Abbott. He was back in the Hill Country this past weekend to meet with families affected by the deadly flood and connect them to resources.
Our goal is to help these people rebuild as quickly as possible. First, the worst tragedy, of course, is the loss of life. And then there's the loss of all these homes that people used to live in. And we want to make sure that they're able to rebuild their home, not next year, but next month.
Some good news on this side. All of the people that he met with in Ingram received checks from the Vaqueros Del Mar Texas Flood Relief Fund. That foundation partners with George Strait and helped put on the Straight to the Heart benefit concert at the end of July. And many of the checks people received were $25,000.
Today, San Antonio police continued their investigation into what they believe is a murder-suicide on the southeast side. Officers were called on Sunday morning to a home on DeWitt Avenue near Whitney Avenue and Blue Wing Road. A caller found two men dead in a driveway, believed to be a father and son. Investigators say one of the men was in his 60s, the other in his 30s. Detectives suspect it was a murder-suicide but have not confirmed who fired the gun first. The medical examiner will identify the victims and officially determine how they died. San Antonio police are still looking for a shooting suspect this morning. A woman showed up to the hospital saying she was shot multiple times while on the east side. Now, she says it happened just after 4 Sunday morning on East Commerce Street. And she told investigators a fight broke out between two groups and that she stepped in to try and break it up. That is when someone pulled out a gun and opened fire, hitting her several times before taking off. First responders rushed her to the hospital.
San Antonio police officers shot and killed a man while responding to what they say was a mental health call. This morning, the officers are now on administrative duty. But just before midnight Sunday, officers were called to the Knights Inn on East Houston Street. Chief William McManus says officers found a 34-year-old man trying to hurt himself. And when they tried to communicate, he allegedly rushed toward them with a cutting instrument or sharp object. All 3 officers opened fire. The man died at the scene. No one else was hurt. All right, we need you to check this out for a second. Universal City Police say that they recovered all of this in a traffic stop which turned into a chase. They got cash, narcotics, and a gun inside of a person's car. Now, UCPD tells us that an officer tried to stop a car on 1604, but the driver had other plans. The suspect led police on a pursuit, and that ended up in a crash and Converse. Well, the suspect then tried to run away, but eventually that suspect was caught inside the car. Again, officers say they found the drugs, thousands of dollars in cash, a gun, and magazines. This morning, suspect faces a wide range of charges.
Okay, this morning, a man accused of being a peeping Tom is waking up in jail. Officers took 34-year-old Ricardo McCleary into custody on Saturday night on Avenue B. Now, he is charged with stalking after police say he used a selfie stick and a cell phone to secretly record women inside their apartments. Investigators say similar reports date back to 2023 in the Peru area.
Coming up now in some of your morning headlines, President Trump is threatening to send National Guard troops into more cities, including Chicago and Baltimore. He says it's part of a crackdown on crime, but Democratic leaders are calling it an abuse of power. The White House says about 2,000 troops are already deployed in Washington, D.C., where hundreds of arrests have been made. But legal authority is different outside the nation's capital. If a governor requests troops, they can act as law enforcement. And if it's deployed by the president alone, their role is limited to protecting federal buildings and personnel. Here in Texas, Governor Greg Abbott plans to sign newly approved Republican-drawn congressional maps in the coming days. The Texas Senate approved those maps just over this weekend. This advances the GOP-led legislature's efforts to secure up to 5 additional U.S. House seats in the upcoming midterm elections. The plan also urged by President Donald Trump. Texas Democrats have pledged to fight the maps in court. The move by Texas Republicans prompted Democrats in California to pass their own redistricting maps, which are aimed at netting Democrats 5 U.S. House seats. Meanwhile, Texas State Representative Ray Lopez is among House Democrats now being fined for more than $9,000 for participating in the Democrats' walkout on that redistricting bill. In a letter from the Texas Committee on House Administration, Rep. Lopez, who represents much of San Antonio's west and northwest sides, would pay $9,354 due to the 14 calendar days he missed during that legislative session. Lopez has until today at noon to respond to some of those fines. And this morning, some House Democrats are speaking out, saying most of the Jeffrey Epstein files the Justice Department turned over are old news. They say only about 3% of the documents are new, with the rest already public. Congressman Ro Khanna from California claims the Department of Justice has released less than 1% and accuses them of stonewalling. The House Oversight Committee subpoenaed these files and says they're still reviewing 34,000 pages, promising to make everything public when they're done.
Outside with Live Cam, 609, 78 degrees. It's a very quiet morning. We expect it to be a pretty quiet but hot day. Tomorrow, a little different story. Frontal boundary does not move through, but it gets close enough to give us some showers and storms. We'll talk rain chances and give you the latest updates coming up.
A mid-flight scare. A passenger's personal device catches fire on board an American Airlines flight. Up next, how the crews spring into action.
And if you want to have a say in how your city spends your tax dollars, up next, the list of upcoming budget town halls across all districts.
And it's a streaming sensation that's now taking over the big screen. We're talking about that K-pop Demon Hunters. Just late, the box office will tell you how much the 2-day sing-along event raked in next. 6:14 right now. Do not forget, from now until Wednesday, the city of San Antonio hosted some budget town halls. I had a couple of viewers reaching out to me this weekend looking for them. The city will vote on the budget on September the 18th. This is your chance to learn about their plan and ask questions regarding a budget gap.
Okay, so you want to know where those meetings are. They're right there on your screen. District 5 and District 6 will hold meetings today. District 4 will have a meeting tomorrow, the 26th. And District 8 will have a meeting on Wednesday, the 27th. You can find the full list of dates and times, of course, locations, on our website, KSAT.com. And here's a way that you could win free concert tickets thanks to the South Texas Blood and Tissue Center. Anyone who donates at one of their 9 donor centers, then you can enter to win floor tickets to some of San Antonio's biggest shows. I'm looking at my nah right there. That's where I want to go. Donate between August 24th and September 20th, and you could win tickets to the Jonas Brothers concert on October 18th. If you're interested, just scan the QR code and book to donate blood right there.
All right, the Netflix hit K-pop Demon Hunters sing-along special led all films in the box office this weekend with $18 million in ticket sales. It's one of the most popular Netflix releases ever. So the streamer put the film into more 1,700 theaters for a sing-along screening this past Saturday and Sunday. And the songs in the movie still high on the Billboard music charts as well. And we were just having this conversation. I'm typically not into movies like this at all, but something in me was just like, just turn it on, see what's up. And again, the music does not sound like musical music. It is just like, who are these voices? And then it's meshed with all of these cool, animations and stuff. They don't make cartoons, or they didn't make cartoons like that back in my day. This was advanced stuff.
It's a cool age we're living in, seeing all the technology and animation.
Look, Patty said she thought it was AI.
Yeah, that's
basically.
I've heard all the songs.
Yeah, I know you got daughters.
Multiple times over.
I don't get why the music is so popular, but hey,
come on,
to each his own. Listen, it was like that with Frozen. Let it go.
See, I wasn't a Frozen fan. I'm with you. I'm not Frozen, but this one right here is way past that.
Just let it go.
I know all the words.
Just let it go.
I love it. Okay, we got to get to traffic. What's on the roadways with your pal?
All right, so far we are starting to wake up a little bit here on this Monday morning. We've got two things I want to tell you about. One is we've got one crash over here on the far west side. I'm going to get to that in a second here. Over here, right near downtown, that's over 281 at the Pearl. That's a stalled vehicle. Make sure you keep your eye out for that here. We're going to get to those in a moment. Checking out over here on the northwest side, though. Still seeing a little bit of some of these backups. There was some overnight construction that's been, posing an issue for some of the drivers. Unfortunately, nothing new for us here in San Antonio, but good to see that some things are starting to clear up, especially eastbound. There might still be some of the effects from that throughout this morning, so make sure you keep an eye out for that as well. Going over here now to the west side, you're going to see that accident. That traffic camera is a little bit blurry, but it's over on Harrison Drive leading southbound near Hidden Plains, so just make sure you're keeping an eye out for that this morning as well. As we take a look outside at some of our road conditions, seems like things are going pretty good out there on the streets. Everyone's really starting to wake up Monday. Now we're really getting going over there. 90 at 1604, doing okay over there. 37 at Loop 410, looking pretty good as well. Keeping an eye on your bottom line, what it means for your inbound drive times. We are almost all in the green there, except for Castroville. That's always something we're seeing on 90, folks. We're going to be 25 minutes for that. About the same for Bernie and Pleasanton over there. 27 minutes for New Braunfels as we go through there. I can do the best I can from here, but we've got our main man, Alex Gomez, out there live for us on the roadways. Alex, what's it looking like out there in Drive Cam?
Oh, very smooth over here on the east side. Check out 35 southbound near Frost Bank Center Drive. I'm not tracking any incidents this morning, and I'm going to go back to listening to classic rock on the radio. No K-pop this morning, Devin.
Ooh, okay, all right. I dig the music taste. Alex. Best of luck out there, man.
Can't confirm. I listened to Alex's playlist the other day, and it's solid. Very solid. A steady diet of some 90s alternative, which I have no complaints with. All right, high temperatures across the country today. Actually, really, really nice for places like Wichita, St. Louis, Chicago. These are high temperatures we're talking about. 71 in Chicago today, 77 in Louisville. We'll get there eventually, but this cool air is not going to make it down into our neck of the woods. Not this go round. The front has made it into parts of North Texas, or will later today. And it does sink a little bit further south towards San Antonio tomorrow. It just does not move through. High temperatures today are still going to be plenty warm. 99 here in town, 100 Del Rio, 96 in San Angelo, 96 in Waco. Still blazing hot. And you look at August as a whole, and most of our days have been spent either at or above average. We had 2 days, the 4th and the 21st, in which we were below average. So our daytime high, we're looking at about 99. It hasn't been too out of control. Let me put it that way. Yes, we have had some triple-digit days, but it hasn't been just crazy hot. Nonetheless, above average, and we'll spend another day above average today. Outside right now, it is 78 degrees, 73 in New Braunfels, 76 Converse, 68 Bernie, 77 at Stinson. Pretty typical morning here. And by noontime, we'll make our way up to near 90 and a high temperature of 99. So this looks like just about every other day so far in August with a heat index of 101. Here's what changes a little bit as we get into tomorrow. I mentioned that front gets close, and by noontime, we start to see a couple showers popping up. And then by 2 o'clock, isolated showers, maybe a few downpours. 4 o'clock, same story, even around 6 o'clock. I will tell you, there is high pressure up above, so it's kind of working against the lift that we're getting from the front. Either way, I think there's a chance there, 30%, and maybe even on Wednesday too, at least early on Wednesday before our rain chances go away for a little bit. Thursday, 99 dry, 100 on Friday. Friday could be a really hot day. And then we'll get another front that will flirt with the area over Labor Day weekend. Again, this may not move through, but at least it gives us some rain chances to talk about. 30% Sunday, 30% Labor Day. Don't cancel your Labor Day plans, but we'll get you updated as we get a little closer to next Monday. All right, Harvey made landfall on this day in 2017. We talked about that earlier. It was the blankest storm in history. Was it the costliest, the wettest, the slowest, or the strongest? Which superlative is the correct one for Harvey? Look, it was all of these things, but one that was top of the list. So go to ksat.com/polls, scan the QR code, and that answer's coming your way in about half an hour.
All right. Thank you, Justin.
Time right now is 6:21, 78 degrees out there.
Emergency in the skies. We got a device catching on fire on an American Airlines flight. Up next, see how crew members jumped into action to protect the passengers.
In this morning's GMA First Look, scare in the air.
I did wake up to one of the flight attendants jumping on my chair to get the fire extinguisher.
Passenger Adriana Novello on board Flight 357 Saturday with 160 passengers on board.
No, we'll stop here, please, American 357.
American 357, no problem. You can just hold there.
An American Airlines flight heading from Philly to Phoenix, diverting to Washington Dulles after a passenger's personal device caught fire.
We wound up having to do an emergency landing because there was a small fire in row 31 on our plane. I was in the exit row, so I wasn't super close to it. And I started smelling smoke, and a lot of people on the plane were coughing. But I looked behind me, and what we could tell was that there was something on fire in the aisle.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have much more on how flight attendants quickly jumped into action to put out that fire. With your GMA First Look, I'm Gio Benitez, ABC News, New York.
Good actions right there. 6:25 right now. We're looking at 78 degrees outside.
1 year in, San Antonio's crime program cut violent crime in hotspots. Next on GMSA, why residents feel safer and how police and apartments are keeping it that way.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Kicking off this 6:30 hour right now. Again, good morning and thanks so much for waking up with us. All of us holding down the desk. Got two of our lovely colleagues on vacation as we speak.
It's R&R.
It is a Monday today, so let's get going.
Getting going,
ready.
Getting started. Okay, so first, before we get into the traffic world, let's talk about the weather. A lot of people need to figure out what's going down.
Who's got a case of the Mondays?
You know, I don't know where I'm at today.
You guys.
I got some sleep, so I'm
I got no sleep, so I'm just here. I'm existing.
Well, we're getting mixed reviews here, whether or not it's a Monday. But you're probably heading out the door, getting close to heading out the door right now if you're heading early to school to catch the bus. Here's what I'll tell you. This morning will be quiet, so too will the afternoon. You won't need an umbrella, but do know that it will be very hot. 77 this morning, 98 degrees at 3 p.m. With the heat index near 100, we probably top out somewhere around 100 this afternoon. Sunrise will be here in about 38 minutes. Sunset at 8:04, and we're losing time faster now. So we have 12 hours of total daylight today, 56 minutes. We are under 13 hours. Our days are getting shorter. Rain chances return tomorrow. Frontal boundary gets close enough to give us some small chances Tuesday and Wednesday, and then they return again this weekend. I know the timing's not the best, but Labor Day weekend does feature some rain chances. We'll discuss whether or not we'll get some cooler temperatures too. That's coming up in just a couple minutes. But now over to Devin with a look at those roads. Things starting to pick up out there?
Yeah, starting to pick up, especially over on the west side. That's where we've got a couple crashes we're going to be talking about here. Now, it's hard to get some of them with the TransGuide cameras, but I want to see if we can be able to show you guys this. All right, so this is one of them over here right near Culebra. Just make sure you keep an eye out for that when you're headed out this morning. If you're headed over near downtown area, especially around 281 near the Pearl, right off Broadway there, we've got a car there. If you are heading southbound, that is stalled out there with an accident, so just make sure you keep your eyes open for that. Besides that, though, checking out some of the road conditions here in San Antonio, we are seeing that all too familiar backup over there on 90. That's going to be affecting our inbound drive times for some of our drivers around San Antonio. Besides that, though, you can see the sun starting to creep up over the horizon. You know, starting to wake up with us over here. Everything, Wurzbach, Starcrest, looking pretty good over there. As we take a look at your bottom line for your inbound drive times, we are in the green, except for Castroville, folks. That's going to be sitting at 35 minutes. Now, our man Alex Gomez is out on the roads this morning with Drive Cam. Alex, you've been all over town. Where are you at right now?
Well, I'm on the northwest side on 410, Devin. This is going to be 410 headed westbound near Bandera Road. And right now, things are looking pretty good on this side of town. I'm not tracking any major slowdowns, and everything looks to be okay for now. I'll let you know if something pops up, though, Devin.
Perfect. Thank you, Alex. Hope you enjoy the classic rock playlist you got going on out there. Patty, we'll send it back to you.
All right, well, a year into a crime reduction program targeting specific hotspots for violent crime, San Antonio police is touting lower crime numbers. One of those locations was an apartment complex on Rigsby Avenue, and police say this program really works. Now, their data shows violent crime went down 50% and trespassing calls stopped. The study showed overall violent crime is down 22% in targeted hotspots, with a 6% drop spilling into neighboring communities. KSAT was invited into the apartment complex to find out how they got this done. Tell me a little bit about some of the issues that were happening here before.
So some of the issues that were happening before were we had a lot of crime activity going on. We had a lot of gang members. That was mostly what we had, was a lot of teenagers running around with guns. Families not wanting to come out because they were afraid. Shootings throughout the day, throughout the night.
Silva Maciel manages Rosemont at Highland Park Apartments. They joined the San Antonio Police and UTSA crime reduction program a year ago.
Once we started going at it full force, it just made a big difference in the community. Residents started to come out. You started to see children play. There was different activities going on throughout the complex.
La gente peleaba, gritaba, pero ahorita ya está todo tranquilo, estoy muy a gusto.
Alma Cepeda, a 3-year tenant, saw more community pride after the complex was cleaned up and patrolled by safe officers and security.
Whenever something happened or whenever he came on to the property, he was the one who called us to tell me, hey, this is what's going on.
Sylvia says management promised to enforce lease rules and evict those who were sheltering criminals. They invested thousands of dollars in a privacy fence, more lighting, and also trimmed bushes and trees for better visibility. Fixing lighting, fixing fences, this sounds like just regular maintenance that should already be done by not just yours, but by any apartment complex.
And it is. When you get a property, the first thing you should do is look at the lighting. How safe is it for you to walk out to your car at night?
I'm going to get calls and say, this is still a problem, this is still an issue. You haven't solved, crime hasn't gone away completely.
No.
But this is a start.
Right. And crime is everywhere. It's more so at, one place than another.
Committed management called police, outreach groups, and made some tough decisions. Now, keeping that community safe is going to be an ongoing job. And with a new company now owning that complex, we're going to have to see if crime will stay away.
I've committed no crime. Can somebody tell me why I'm being arrested? Can somebody tell me what my rights are?
Cuffed, confused, and in custody, the mother of 3-year-old Aurora Bojorquez speaking after being taken into custody after an Amber Alert was issued for her daughter. Now, this all started when the Child Protective Services went to 38-year-old Amber Hevelin's home to remove Aurora from custody on Thursday. However, when CPS got there, neither Aurora or Hevelin could be found, and that led to an Amber Alert being issued. Bexar County Sheriff's deputies eventually went back to Hevelin's home on the northeast side, where they found both mom and daughter. Hevelin was arrested for interference with child custody, and Aurora was safely recovered. BCSO telling us that the CPS was removing Aurora due to concerns of drug use, neglect, and abuse.
This morning, local businesses in San Antonio are feeling the pressure from global tariffs, including a new rule that's set to hit this Friday that could raise costs even more. An executive order from President Trump will end the de minimis rule this Friday. It allows foreign packages worth less than $800 to enter the country tariff-free. Now, while it's already been suspended for China and Hong Kong, it's now going to hit the rest of the world. So we visited vendors at the Pearl to hear how they're coping and what advice they have for others.
Farms we're working with were like, hey, we need to mail this out by this date, because if we don't, that's going to go from 15 to 24, potentially 34%. And it was really scary.
Okay, so listen to this. Tariffs have made importing essentials like matcha from Japan much more expensive. Others say sourcing locally has helped keep prices stable and provides peace of mind.
I would honestly just say research, and then reaching out to people and just knowing your sources, knowing where they get their stuff, knowing how they make it, knowing who's touching it, who's making it, who's shipping. That's your best bet.
Okay, so they say shopping and selling locally builds community trust and helps businesses weather these challenges.
Over here in some of your morning headlines, a new bill at the state capitol could make the drug ivermectin easier to get without a prescription. The medication, known for treating parasites like river blindness and scabies, has been in the spotlight since the pandemic. But a doctor is warning about misuse, especially when people take it for viral illnesses like COVID-19, where it has no proven benefit. The bill would require pharmacists to give clear instructions and report how many doses they sell each year. The bill has support from dozens of lawmakers, but has not passed yet. And if approved, it could change how this drug is dispensed in Texas. This morning, parents in Bexar County are starting to consider whether or not they're going to use education savings accounts, or otherwise known as those school charter funds. They're expected to go into effect next school year. The program is going to provide state funding for some educational practices that includes private schooling, homeschooling, and resources for students with disabilities. Students could receive up to $10,000 for private school tuition.
I do feel like it might level the playing field, but only so far. When you look at the private school going into high school, it doesn't cover much for like low-income families, and I know their priority when it comes to receiving the funding, but I don't know if we will use it or not.
Since the School Discovery Network comes in, they've been hosting these free town hall meetings about the Education Savings Program to help families figure out if the program's a good fit for them and how to move forward with it once the portal opens. If you're interested in how the ESA program could impact your student or family, you can find more information up online about their future town halls on KSAT.com.
All right, outside with live cam at 6:39, 78 degrees. Just walked outside, cloudless skies here over San Antonio. Should be a beautiful sunrise. We continue to watch what is going to unfold here in the Caribbean. A wave heads west. Will it affect us and will it bring us rain? We'll take a look coming up.
Medina Valley ISD, one of the fastest growing districts in the region. Well, up next, I'm going to show you how your tax dollars are helping fund new schools and improvements. 6:43, welcome back. So on the far west side of our viewing area sits the third fastest growing school district in the region, called Medina Valley ISD. And as that area continues to grow, the district is keeping up with several new and improved projects that you, the taxpayer, help make possible. I caught up with the superintendent to see where your dollars have been spent into the new year.
We're anticipating around 10,500 to 10,600 kids.
That's an increase in comparison to the 9,800 students that they finished the school year off with last year.
You know, we've been growing about 900 to 1,000 kids per year over the last 4 years.
As the fifth fastest growing school district in Texas, they're anticipating being right at 18,700 students by 2033.
Where is that coming from, you think?
So we have some moving out from the San Antonio area. We have some coming from other states. And then we also have a big military population.
Because of that growth and thanks to a couple of multi-million-dollar bonds, the district has been busy with a number of projects.
We're currently constructing a new high school, our second high school. We've named it Creekview High School. That will open in the fall of 26. We have a middle school campus that we just started construction on, and then 2 additional elementary campuses that will start construction on.
And with that expansion of campuses comes the needed expansion of security, where the district is spending around $7.5 million on safety and security projects.
We're upgrading our cameras. We're putting in key card access for all of our campuses, you know, to increase security. We have some reconstruction of our vestibules at each campus to make them a little bit more safe and secure. So we want our parents to feel confident, right, that their kid is going to be safe when they come to school.
Now, speaking of safety, something else the district has been able to establish is the first ever brand new police department dedicated strictly to their campuses. And tomorrow on GMSA, I'm going to introduce you to their new chief, the crimes that they plan to tackle, and just how passionate each of the officers are about protecting each of the students in the district. There's a lot of cool things happening at Medina Valley ISD. The police department alone, they were getting trucks in as I was speaking with them last Thursday. So a lot of cool things coming that way to that district.
A lot of new stuff. All right. Thanks so much. I bet they have a lot of new school buses too
Oh,
out
yes.
there as they
Traffic,
get
too.
ready to pick up those kids. How's it looking out there, Devin?
Well, the school buses might be in for a little bit of congestion here, depending on what side of town they're going on across here. If we start over here on the west side of town, that's when we're going to be able to see some of the accidents over here. A little harder to tell with some of that traffic cameras, but we've got one over here on Les Harrison near Hidden Plain Street. So just make sure you keep an eye out for that. Closer to downtown, near the Pearl area, right off Broadway, we've got an accident over there holding up some of our traffic. So just make sure when you're headed out there, you're keeping your eye on the prize in front of you, away from some of these other cars. Besides that, we're starting to see some of our usual backups we've got over here. There's 35 and 90 getting a little bit backed up this morning as Monday starts that commute again for everyone at the beginning of their week. For anybody headed into San Antonio from Castroville, there it is once again. We've got that backup on 90 over there with what looks like to be some flashing lights. So we'll make sure to check that out shortly here on TransGuide. Taking a look at your inbound drive times, we are in the green except for Castroville. That's going to be our longest right now, 43 minutes if you're making your way into San Antonio, about 25 for Bernie, Pleasanton. We've got 30 minutes or so for New Braunfels, Livernia, Seguin, 17 for Lytle, 34 for Floresville, 32 for New Braunfels, 20 for Bulverde. Taking a look outside, starting to get a little bit, oh, there it is. That gorgeous pink sunrise in the corner over there at the Tower of the Americas. 37 at 181, looking pretty good over there too. 37 Pecan Valley, looking great outside. Alex Gomez has been out and about this morning, all in drive cam, keeping an eye on the roads for us. Alex, how's it going right now?
Yeah, it's not too bad, Devin. Good morning. I just made it into the downtown area. This is going to be 281 southbound, and I took 281 south from the airport. So no issues, but I'm still making my rounds, Devin.
All right, good to see Alex. Thanks for keeping us updated. We'll keep you all updated here on GMSA and coming up on the stream, GMSA Plus. Justin?
Thank you, sir. That sun will be up in about 20 minutes, by the way, and it is a beautiful sunrise out there. We'll get to that forecast very quickly, but real quick, we do need to look back on Hurricane Harvey. Back in 2017, made landfall on this day, and Hurricane Harvey was an epic storm. It was fairly weak as it moved through the Caribbean, and it crossed the Yucatan, still as a tropical depression. And quite honestly, at that point, we did not expect it to get as strong as it did, but it went under rapid intensification, going from a depression basically to a Cat 4 storm in a matter of about 2 days. Pretty incredible stuff. Made landfall as Cat 4 storm. Winds sustained, maximum sustained winds 132 miles per hour. And there were 57 tornadoes with it. Sadly, 68 deaths. It was a massive, massive storm. Not only that, it stalled, kind of went around in a circle. If you remember, Houston got walloped. 60 inches of rain, in fact, for one spot there near Houston. So this hurricane set all kinds of records before it finally moved off to the north and east. But on this day in 2017, hard to believe, that was 8 years ago. All right, what do we have going on right now? Well, there is a wave out here near the Leeward Islands that will be moving west into the Caribbean. Could this have the same fate as Harvey? And the short answer is no. In fact, it does not even look like it has a whole lot of opportunity to develop. It just can't seem to get its act together, and conditions aren't great for it. But even if it did, we think this would probably continue to move west, kind of get shunted south out of the Gulf. We'll continue to watch it, but I don't think it'll be a player for our forecast. If it does get a name, or if any other system gets a name here over the next few days, it would be Gabrielle, by the way. Fernand did get named up there in the northern Atlantic, but it is not a threat to land. Outside right now, what a beautiful morning. 78 degrees, 73 in New Braunfels, 76 in Converse, 77 at Stinson. We got light winds. It does get hot this afternoon. We were at 99 yesterday. We'll be there again today. You'll see some triple digits on the map. The one bright spot here, if you will, no rain today, but I'll take you to tomorrow, noontime tomorrow. And that's where we may start to see a few isolated showers and storms as a frontal boundary gets close, does not move through, but gets close enough to help generate a little bit of rain. I think that'll be the case Tuesday and Wednesday. So we'll put in a 30% chance both days, 97 tomorrow, 95 Wednesday. Then we pop back up temperature-wise, 99 Thursday and dry on Friday, 100. Then we bring back some rain chances as another front tries to get close. Again, probably doesn't move through, but gives us some rain chances Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And 94 for Labor Day right now with a 30% chance rain. We'll continue to update you on that forecast. Okay, as we mentioned, Harvey made landfall on this day in 2017. And my question to you earlier was, this storm was the blankest storm in U.S. history. Was it the costliest, the wettest, the slowest, or the strongest? Votes are in and people say wettest.
See, I was stuck on wettest, but now I'm thinking about slowest.
Okay.
I thought it was, I voted for costliest.
Okay.
But I also thought it was slowest.
Wow, you just swayed the vote there.
I don't know.
It felt pretty slow when I was in it, so I think that's my vote.
The thing was, it was all of these things.
Right. Yeah,
but if you're talking the top of the list here, the correct answer is wettest.
Wow.
Darn it, I should have went with my gut.
So
Okay.
Harvey dumped an estimated 33 trillion gallons of water. Part of that had to do with the fact that it moved very slow. Now, the slowest storm ever was Dorian, which was stationary for nearly 2 days over the Bahamas. Strongest is the Labor Day hurricane of 1935, and the costliest, if you use inflation and all that sort of thing, Katrina.
I knew it was Katrina.
Harvey is a close second.
All right. Well, thank you, Justin. Okay, 6:51 right now. We're looking at 78 degrees outside.
And on GMSA Plus, another look at some Texas politics. Who is backing who for the next Texas Attorney General?
6:55 here on your Monday morning. Taking a look around San Antonio, commuters are starting to wake up here as we take a look around there. We've got one thing over there on the west side, taking a look for what it means about your bottom line inbound drive times. We're in the green as normal, except for Castroville, people coming in from 90. Taking a look outside on TransGuide, you can see gorgeous sunrise. Wurzbach Toolyard over there, Wurzbach at Wetmore. Conditions looking pretty good out there as far as our drivers go. Nothing to worry about on the roads. Justin, what's it going to feel like?
Well, pretty typical August day, honestly. Temperatures are in the upper 70s this morning. We'll be up near 90 by noontime, 99 for highs. So this has been basically what we've seen most of August. Now, what changes is tomorrow. We will get rain chances back in the picture. Drops temperatures just a little bit, 97 Tuesday, 95 Wednesday. And then we're back in the heat Thursday, Friday before some more rain chances this weekend. Of course, it is Labor Day weekend, so we added Labor Day there on the end. 30% chance of rain next Monday, guys.
All right, we made our way back out here. You already know we got the update on your headlines, traffic, and weather after this short break. GMSA Plus coming up on KSAT Plus and KSAT.com.